Everybody, today I get a chance to answer a subscriber question, which is, in this crazy hot market, should I wait to buy a home? That's a valid question. Many buyers are experiencing fatigue. They're tired of the multiple offer situation. They're tired of seeing homes that used to buy this amount of home buy only this amount of home. And all of that's understandable. And I really want you to think of the question the other way. As a home buyer, you would want to say, should I continue to rent a home? Because obviously one choice leads to another. And first and foremost, please smash the like button. And if you want great cutting edge content in real estate, please subscribe to my channel. Let's get right to it. First things first, you need to consider the cost of continuing to renting versus buying a home. So in the marketplace, if you can buy a home and the payment is less than rent, you should buy now. Doesn't matter what you think is going to happen to the market. You should also consider the tax advantage of buying a home in that comparison. So let's say your rent is $1,600 a month, but your mortgage payment might be $1,850 a month. Because the tax deductions you're going to receive saves you $250 a month, you should buy that home. And a key reason why is that rent goes up. Sometimes it comes down, but a lot of times it goes up. And right now, rent is on a record pace. But I'll tell you this, if you have a mortgage, your mortgage payment is not going up. The bank doesn't get to call you and renegotiate your fixed rate loan. And that same inflation to home prices that's been causing you as a buyer to get really upset and really frustrated with the home buying process is also affecting your rent. It's been recently reported now that rents are climbing at a historically high record pace for the Orlando area. That's going to be felt for you soon. You may not feel it now. You might feel it on the next revision of your lease or the next time you have to go and move into something else. Well, Jared, that's a good point, but I have a sweetheart deal on my rent. My sweet old landlord or my family member or whoever is giving me a great deal on my rent, so I need to stay here now. Well, understand this. That isn't going to last forever. And I'm telling you, even now, I'm hearing a lot more stories of landlords who are now finding out how much that big fat equity check comes when they can sell that house that you're renting. They decide to sell, and then you have to go find something at today's terms, which becomes a massive shock factor because you're getting way less house and the payment's much higher than it was before. Well, Jared, I can buy low and I can pay it off faster because I owe less money on the house. Well, that's if you are paying cash. If you are buying a house, obviously, as a finance buyer, the payment you pay is really the price you're paying. And most buyers are shopping on what they can afford on a monthly basis. History shows us that the price of homes are going down, the interest rates are going up, so you have an offsetting higher cost to borrow the money over 30 years. And that's just got to be factored in as well, which means you really aren't getting ahead. You might be borrowing less money, but the house payment is now higher, so you're actually costing yourself more over time for the same exact house thinking you're saving money, and you're not. So it's really great if you've got a lot of cash to put down or to buy the house totally and pay it off, but most renters don't have that kind of dry powder left. If this is an investment purchase, should you wait to invest in the real estate market? Because it's all-time record highs. It's crazy right now. The answer is cash flow. Everything that matters is cash flow. If you don't have good cash flow, don't buy the property. If you have great cash flow, you're set. Why? Because if the property goes down in value, the cash will flow. If the property goes back up again, which we know when it goes down, it comes back up, and vice versa. The market moves up and down. It's the way it is. But cash will always flow. And the reality is, investors, you have an amazing opportunity because rents are soaring and interest rates are still really low. And just what I said before, unless you're paying all cash, you're borrowing money, the rents are rising, your payment's fixed. Win! It's easy math. It makes total sense if there is good cash flow. If there isn't, don't buy it. We're no longer in speculative mode as an investor. You're not trying to buy a house because you want to see it appreciate as far as the capital is concerned. You don't care about that. You want cash flow. That is all that matters. Some are out there saying, hey, you should not buy a house unless you plan to live there for 7 to 10 years. That's not true. You should not buy a house unless you plan to hold the house for 7 to 10 years. You shouldn't live in the same house for 17 years. No one does. But who cares? If you've got a plan to move on in 2 years, that's okay. Just have a plan for the asset. And I'm telling you, in 2 years' time, in all likelihood, you could take that property, lease it out, rent trajectories are growing versus your low interest rates, you're gonna be fine. Because remember, when you bought the house on day one, what did you do? You said to yourself, is it better to rent or is it better to buy? And the day you bought the house, it was better to buy. So a couple years down the road, rents increase even higher because rental demand isn't going down. It's climbing fast. You're gonna be in a position where you can lease the house out and hold it into the future. And you know what that will do? That will make you more wealthy, provided you did all this right. And I'm just a guy with cool hair. Don't take my word for this. Don't trust my advice. And this is surely not investment advice. This is the disclaimer. I'm just giving you my opinion on things. Get a professional's advice on all these things, from taxes to the real estate decision making, investment advice. Feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to guide you through the process no matter where you're considering buying a home in the US, Canada, anywhere else. I'll be a resource to you. One more time, if you haven't smashed that like button, please give it a thumbs up. Helps me bring you more content. And if you want more cutting edge real estate information, give us a subscribe, follow the channel. We'll see you real soon.